Hello, 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 and welcome to our podcast, episode number 4, What's Going On, Value of the Village. Now, just want to kind of give you guys a little heads up. We're having a little technical difficulty, but our motto is that the show must go on. um, and so, before we get into this week's topic, and that's the history of Memorial Day, I'd like to turn it over to our CEO, Marvis Cofield of Keeblan Village, who will be announcing last week's winner of the Motown Music Challenge question. Mr. Cofield, it's your mic.
Well, thank you, Mama Kennedy. Jumbo, it's good to hear your voice. I'm excited, not trying to hide it. And for last week, the Motown Challenge question was who was one of the lead singers of The Temptation? And he also had a brother that sung with the Motown, and he made several records. And the answer is David Ruffin was one of the lead singers, and David Ruffin had a brother named Jimmy Ruffin, and he also sung on the Motown theme. So once again, the answer is David Ruffin is one of the lead singers, and Jimmy Ruffin, which is his brother. So you had the Ruffin brothers doing some good in the neighborhood.
All right, all right. That sounds good. Well, Mr. Cofield, can you tell us who our respondents were or our winners?
Oh yeah, well, for sure. Last week we've been blessed to have some faithful fans, if you will. And Lord, I'm just excited about Leo Reader, who has won consecutively for the last 3 weeks by being one of the first persons to chime in. Then we had Raven Sharp. And last but by no means least, we had Leonard Smith, who had the right answers. All three of them had the right answers.
All right, all right. So that was Lillian Newell Reader, Raven Sharp, and help me out with the other brother's name.
Leonard Smith,
Leonard Smith.
Spinning Lynn.
Spinning land. Sounds good. Sounds good. So, want to say Happy Memorial Day to everyone in our listening audience, but just kind of want to give a little history of what Memorial Day is really all about. So, Memorial Day began after the Civil War, and it was a way of honoring fallen soldiers by placing flowers on their grave. Well, as I did a little digging in the history, I found out that a lot of the black soldiers were not recognized. So in our community, um, we started going to the grave site ourselves, and those are like the military of grave sites, and placing flowers on our own families and loved ones' grave sites. So in 1971, it became a federal holiday that was always observed on the last Monday in May. And today, specifically in the African American community, we use this day not only to remember those that died in the service, but also to remember and honor our loved ones who have passed on. So that's a little history about uh, the overall holiday of Memorial Day. Mr. Kofi, I'd like to turn it back over to you to maybe speak on a little history and memorializing some people, some heroes, some sheroes that have or that were instrumental to a Keeblan.
Mama Kennedy, I appreciate that. And you did a great job by giving a historical foundation on how Memorial Day started and why it started. As we talked about the forgotten soldiers and from the Civil War up until the present. But we also said there were a lot of men and women who worked in different areas in life that passed on. So we want to definitely acknowledge the soldiers, but some of the warriors that were here, the urban warriors, if you will. And saying that, I want to first and foremost let it be known that Akibalon Village is 48 years old, and within the last 48 years, we've had over 300 to 500 people who helped us build this organization. I just want to highlight four of them who have passed on, who are our ancestors. The first one is named Michael Obey. Michael Obey was one of the co-founders of Akibalon. He and I had known each other for over 50 years. And I just want to say again, Michael Obey was a major part of the Akibalon village. He was our attorney, he was my martial art instructor, he was my mentor, and he was my friend. Secondly, Terry Willingham, who was an educator. She worked with us educationally, culturally, as well as recreationally. But specifically, she was a musician, she was a singer, and she was an artist. She helped many of our children get scholarships to go to college, and she made sure that they understood the importance of giving back. So once again, Terry Willingham, who was played a major role in the village in terms of working with our children. Each one teach one. That's what she did every day throughout her life. And the third person I want to talk about is another warrior who, for the last 35 years, while he was living on this planet, helped build a Kibalon village. Guatambo Elder Huru, who was a warrior, who was my friend, who was my mentor, who taught me. We sat together at one another's feet and made sure that we understood that the main thing was teaching our children who they are and whose they are. Chukwuembo Huru. Elder Fred Reeder was a major player. He helped build our African Center curriculum. And last but by no means least, Sheila Singletary, who was also a KE alumni. That's the high school that we graduated from. I had to give a shout out, if you will. She was an artist. She was a designer. She was a business person. Could design rooms whenever you was having special wedding, birthdays, whatever it might be. People asked her to come in and design, set up the table, set up the whole ambiance. So once again, Sheila Singletary was one who helped teach our children the art of making things beautiful, what I call beautification, through being able to take a room that didn't look like anything and make you feel like it was everything once you went into that room. So those are my four heroes, four giants, four ancestors who helped build El Kibalon village.
Well, all right, Mr. Cofield. Well, thank you for that memorial tribute, in very befitting and very enlightening to know what these four people meant to our community, but specifically to Akibalon Village. And just a little side note, I was blessed to know all four of those people through you, Mr. Cofield. So I want to definitely honor them today on this day, Memorial Day, as well. So, with that being said, this week I'd like to pose the music challenge question, and it will correlate to what we've been talking about Memorial Day. So, the music challenge question for this week number 4, episode 4 of our podcast is: what group originally signed to Motown did a remake or a cover in 1991 of a popular tune that people play today to honor or remember a loved one? So let me say that again. What group originally signed to Motown did a cover or a remake in 1991 of a popular tune that people play today to honor or remember a loved one? Now, they play it at funerals, they play it in the household, at gatherings. I've heard people sing it, and generally they do it when they're honoring a loved one. Now, the second part of the question is, what was the name of the song? So that's it for the music challenge question. We invite you all to chime into the comments. If you're not really social media savvy, you can give us a call, and we'll let the folks know the order in which you called and if you're correct or not. Um, And this will be a good time to kind of roll right into the closing remarks. And I'll start out by saying we thank you for being with us for 4 weeks and hopefully many more to come. We are moving in the direction of just trying to get the name out of what we're doing at Akibalan Village and in our community. Please, check us out on Facebook. You can do that on my page, Rhonda Kennedy, Mama Gail Cofield's page, or you can go to the Akibalan Village page on Facebook. Also, follow us on Instagram, and you can get the episodes of our podcast on Instagram and on our own YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is called What's Going On? Value of the Village, Akibalan Village. You can check out all the previous podcast episodes up to the current one. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And last but not least, we know that the things that we do in our community always need support, but more importantly and specifically, financial support. And so you can go to www.akibalanvillage.com and click on the Donate Now tab. Once again, www.akibalanvillage.com, Donate Now. Mr. Cofield, I'm going to turn it over to you for your closing remarks.
Well, McKinney, we definitely want all of our listeners to share this information like they have done. We've got people from all over the country to chime in. So I want to give you a salute in terms of the way you communicate. And I just want others to do the same thing. But as I come to a close, we talked about ancestor worship and honoring our warriors who were in the service or who served different community organizations or who just were men and women who gave their lives, whether it was intentionally or unintentionally. And the day is Memorial Day, May the 25th. Unfortunately, 6 years ago, George Floyd was killed, and this doesn't seem like it was just yesterday. So as I give a shout out to the families, to all of us who have lost loved ones, once again, this is the 6th anniversary of George Floyd as an ancestor. On that note, keep hope alive. And remember, if you put God first, you'll never be last.
Wow. Very profound words again. And we thank you, Mr. Cofield, for being who you are. And that's going to do it for episode number 4. What's Going On? Value of the Village podcast. We'll catch y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Hotel, peace.